Hey, this is Dave and Casey from Straight Six Archery in Missoula, Montana. We're here to talk to you about some string companies that we like to use and why we like to use them. We get a lot of customer feedback of why they should get their bowstrings from us and what material we're using and the process that goes through that. And fortunately, we've had a customer drop off a bow, so we thought this was a great opportunity to show you what we do and why we use America's Best Bowstrings, because we believe that they are the best bowstring out there. And this is a Bowtech Destroyer 350, and we're just going to walk you through what we do on every string that comes through our shop. And Dave will explain to you what the material is and why it's so good.
So kind of the main reason, like Casey said, we truly do believe that America's Best is building the best bowstrings on the market right now. It's kind of being a flooded market for the most part. There's a lot of companies getting into the string building game. Mm-hmm. The high quality materials are readily available. The machines made to build the strings are readily available. But one thing that America's Best does do beyond just simply, taking high quality materials and building them to spec is they actually do experiment with different materials and different strand counts. Mm-hmm. One thing that they have found is by utilizing a couple different materials, 8190 for instance, in their cables, they're actually able to run typically 2 strands heavier on those than most companies are. And what that's doing is actually giving us a more stable tuning platform and more reliable in terms of can slippage or anything like that. What else they've done beyond that is they've also taken 452X in their string material, which is actually a little bit smaller diameter strands. And what that's allowed them to do is actually run less strands on the string and increase bow speed. We're not seeing monumental speed increases, but we are seeing up to 2 to 3 feet a second per bow. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's been really advantageous on both our part as well as the customer's part has been they have a 0 peep creep guarantee on there, meaning that you won't see any of that typical peep rotation that you get on the strings when they're brand new. Kind of the biggest thing that we found as an advantage both on our part and with the customers is that they have a guaranteed 3-day ship on their strings. So even in the dead of August, when everybody else is talking 3 to 4 weeks to get our strings, the longest wait we've ever had has been 11 days on these things. Typically when we get slower times of the year like this, we're less than a week and we have the strings in our hands.
Mm-hmm. And the tuning process is very fast. As soon as we get the string, they're on that day. We tune it, time it, and anything past that is just getting the peep sight height in the string for the customer set, and it's a 5-minute process.
Yeah, not only does it make our job easier, but it also just means it's less downtime for you guys to get back out in the field, and less messing and fiddling with the bow to get everything redialed and get ready to shoot broadheads. Mm-hmm. So Casey's going to go ahead and throw this thing in the press, and we'll walk you through the steps.
So we just put our strings and cables on this bow. Next step of the process is we're going to go ahead and put this in our bow vise and check level for the rest and install our loop, and we'll show you that process as well. Alright, we got our bow in the vise here, and the next step in the tuning process is leveling out our rest. Now what that means is we put the string levels on and make sure that our arrow is 90 degrees to our string level, and that's a great starting point for the next tuning process. So we got the levels on here, and as you can see, we're perfectly 90. So we're going to go ahead and mark this with our white paint pen so we can go ahead and tie our D-loop on. Alright, we got our string loop on, installed perfect here, so we're just going to go over to our scale and make sure that we're hitting the peak poundage that's on the sticker of the bow.
So now that Casey's got this bow checked on the scale and we know we're hitting our 70 pounds right where we want to be, we're going to go ahead and throw it on our draw board now, and we're going to check our cam orientation.
Alright, so now that Dave put it on the draw board and we know our cam synchronization is perfect, we're going to go ahead with our white paint pen again. We're going to mark on each side of the limb on the cam so that we can monitor any stretch that may occur into the string.
Go. So now we're at the last leg of our tuning on this bow. You know, we got the strings installed, we got everything set to factory specs, our poundage is hitting exactly where we want it, and our draw stops and cam sync is just money on it. So all those things considered, our first shot through the paper should yield a bullet hole. So let's see what we got. Camera can't quite pick it up from back there, but as you can see, we do have a bullet hole through paper, and this thing's ready to go out in the field.
So this bow's done and ready to be picked up by the customer. The last step is to get the peep sight installed and the string properly for him. We'll get that tied in, and this customer's 100% ready to hunt in the field. And with the white paint pen marks we've provided for him, he can keep an eye on the string stretch, we can keep an eye on the string stretch, and it's not going to move.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's kind of the benefit of these high quality strings. You know, literally it's a carefree thing. Once we get everything set, this guy knows he doesn't have to worry anything about, you know, the upcoming season.
Yeah, and again, from everyone at Straight Six, we really appreciate all the support and business that you've given us and continued support. So come in and get a string put on your bow, and we'll get you ready for this season.